I'm Bill Gale. I'm a senior fellow at the Brookings Institution and co-director of the Tax Policy Center. In a political sense, tax reform is difficult because it creates winners and losers, and the losers tend to be much more vociferous in their opposition to a tax reform than the winners are in their support. In economic terms, tax reform can be difficult because we don't really know the effects of policies that have never been implemented. There's some uncertainty or controversy about the effects of policies that have been implemented. So tax reform could have a very modest impact on the economy, but it's not going to have a huge impact. The basic goal of any tax system is to raise enough money to fund the government, and that's not just in the short run, but also in the long run. As is well known, we face long-term increasing budget deficits and increasing debt if we continue on the path that we're on. The other goals are simply to help the economy as much as possible and to make the economy as fair as possible. Sometimes those two goals conflict with each other, but in many cases it's possible to develop policies that are both fair and growth-inducing. Trump's tax plan is more a wish list than an actual set of proposals. It's literally a one-page bullet point list of items. Things like subsidizing child care are simply listed as subsidizing child care. There's, of course, 150 different ways to do that, and they didn't specify which one or ones they had in mind. The plan would have four big concerns. First, it would boost the deficit and the public debt dramatically, and of course, that's on top of what we expect to be increasing debt in the future, even without the tax cut. Second, it would create an enormous tax shelter. It would tax business income at only 15%, whereas wage income is taxed at 35% or higher. This would give people incentives to convert their wage income to business income. Third, it would create a race to the bottom, an international race to the bottom in corporate taxes. If we cut our corporate tax to 15%, you can be certain that other countries will cut their taxes even more. And they can make up the revenue because they have value-added taxes, and traditionally what they've done is cut corporate rates and raise value-added tax rates. We, of course, don't have a value-added tax, so as corporate rates get cut successively around the world, we would be in a worse and worse revenue situation. Lastly, the Trump tax cuts would be enormously regressive. They would give huge tax cuts to the highest income households and very tiny tax cuts to the lowest income households. Combined with Trump's budget cuts, they would actually make low-income households worse off while giving just enormous gains, hundreds of thousands of dollars per household to the very richest families in the country. So with those four issues, Trump's plan is not really a solution to any of the economic issues that the country faces right now.